So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about three interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, I'm not home using my regular mic, so I apologize for the audio. Hopefully it's not too bad, but the stories I wanted to cover today includes the next Kojima X PlayStation project, Uncharted 5, Jack 4, more Last of Us, Factions 2, and PlayStation 5's SSD big changes. First, yes or no, would you want a Last of Us Part 3? This relates to one of the stories we're going to cover today, but before that, I'm curious where all of you stand on this. So comment below, would you want a Last of Us Part 3 or not? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, Uncharted 5, Last of Us PlayStation 5, Jack 4, and Factions 2. So, recently, co-heads of Naughty Dog Neil Druckmann and Evan Wells sat down with Game Informer and talked about everything from Naughty Dog's past, recent history, concept art, and potential future projects. This part here specifically caught my eye, like it always does when Jack and Daxter could potentially be involved in the mix. The co-heads were asked by Game Informer if they'd ever go back to something lighter, kid-friendly, here referring to Crash Bandicoot, of course, and Jack and Daxter. Evan Wells said, if we had endless resources and time, it would be super fun to do that. You look at what Insomniac is doing with Ratchet and Clank, and it's exciting. It's great to see that stuff. We're just limited with time. You know, I'm 48 years old, and how many more games do you get to make? So you got to pick and choose. Neil Druckmann said, we look at everything and we ask ourselves, what are we excited by? What's something that's going to challenge us and push the medium as far as games that can be? Because that inspiration is so important to carry through years of production. Based off this and what I'm reading here, it seems unlikely we'll ever get more Jack and Daxter. Neil seemingly here points out that they want to push the envelope, while Evan Wells pretty much said we don't have the resources to do a game like Jack and Daxter over a big project on the scale of The Last of Us, because I guess, and I'm not saying this is his opinion, but it seems that he might be pushing towards a larger project over something like a Crash Bandicoot or Jack and Daxter for the last few games he gets to make before he retires, type of thing. For me, it's sad to hear this, and I honestly hope Sony could give the IP to someone else. Look at Sackboy: A Big Adventure. That gave the franchise a whole new life. Sackboy: A Big Adventure is a great game, and of course, was not developed by Media Molecule, the original creators. Beyond Jack, the co-heads were also asked if we'd get more Uncharted and Last of Us, or would they move on to new IPs, to which Evan Wells replied with, I think the easy answer is both. I think there's excitement to develop new IP, but there's still a ton of love for Uncharted and The Last of Us, and I think you'll see both kinds of projects from us in the future. I personally hope Naughty Dog produces a new IP, release something fresh like they did with the original Last of Us in 2013, and then maybe go back to the older franchises. And beyond all of this, Factions 2 is officially being pushed heavily by Naughty Dog now, which is exciting for me. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of Factions because it means they're pretty much full force in some fashion to get this game out. Reading from Video Game Chronicle, the Last of Us developer Naughty Dog says it's aggressively hiring for its new standalone multiplayer game and promised a cinematic experience similar to its single-player blockbusters. The Sony studio posted a dozen job postings for the multiplayer project on its social media account on Friday, covering multiple disciplines including programming, design, and art. Commenting on the job roles, The Last of Us Part 2's co-director Vinit Agarwal, hopefully I said that correctly, wrote, we're aggressively hiring. Apply if you want to be a part of the cinematic experience between players in our new standalone multiplayer action game. So this is interesting because in the original Factions, they had some type of ongoing meta game slash story between the Fireflies and the Hunters, which is pretty much a focus on resources and survival. You had your own population that could get sick or die, or you can help them survive based on how well you do in multiplayer matches and the resources you collect. It seems like Naughty Dog might bring a bigger story here with full story arcs, probably even seasonal content with changing narratives. I'm excited, as you guys already know. I just want to see the first glimpse of this multiplayer already that's not leaked old multiplayer gameplay. Hopefully, we'll get a teaser at Sony's next event in, whenever that happens, 2045, 2055. I'm not really sure at this point. Now, diving into the second story of the video, Kojima X PlayStation 5. Reading from website Adoro Cinema, when asked about which of his most famous characters would win a marathon, Daryl Dixon, who spent years walking the zombie apocalypse looking for Rick Grimes, or Sam Porter Bridges of Deathstranding, who delivers packages in a hostile open world environment, Norman Reedus replied with, "It would definitely be Sam Porter Bridges. He has the costume, the motorcycle. Wait, both have motorcycles. He has the exoskeleton he can run with." Reedus said, "Daryl is in Georgia. It's super hot. Then he would faint. Norman, on the other hand, would just take a bus." He joked, "I think we're doing a second Death Stranding. The game is in negotiations now, so yay," celebrated the actor. So I can personally believe that we could get another Death Stranding because mainly of 2 points. One, the world is amazing in the original game. The lore, the world building, all of that is great. And two, just look at the director's cut of the game. One of the biggest issues people had with the Death Stranding was walking so much, and the director's cut seems to relieve some of that by including a jetpack or a catapult to assist with deliveries. The game already had ways to improve movement, especially if you played online and saw the other structures people made, but the director's cut goes even further to make the delivery process even faster. The director's cut also adds improved melee combat and more weapons, making it more gamey, I guess is the word that I want to use here, than mainly just walking like we had in the original title. Now there's more combat, there's more weapons, it's easier to move around. So I think these changes could help with greater interest in a sequel. But you guys let me know if you'd want a Death Stranding 2 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now diving into the third story of the video, big PS5 SSD changes using Unreal Engine 5. Reading from Gaming Bolt, the PS5's SSD has been one of the console's biggest selling points, with Sony and various other developers having often talked about the ways it will aid and bolster game development. Another developer who's excited about those prospects is Pete Bottomley of White Paper Games, game designer on the upcoming mystery adventure title Conway Disappearance at Dahlia View. Speaking in a recent interview with Gaming Bolt, Bottomley said that the PS5's SSD, especially one combined with what Unreal Engine 5 will enable developers to do, will allow for some big changes in the future to level design and games in general. There's a dual approach we can take advantage of as developers, not only with the faster SSD, but also in combination with Unreal Engine 5, Bottomley said. When you're creating the larger 3D games that we tend to design at White Paper, streaming the content for the player and knowing how to approach the design of the levels to get them to the most optimal performance takes a lot of time. With quicker loading times, you have less need to design features into loading screens along with the streaming of the content at runtime. Unreal Engine 5 removes the need for this side of development and instead chunks the content under the hood. I think you'll see some big changes to level design with those two upgrades in the development pipeline. Of course, we're still in the early days of this console generation, and it's probably going to be a while before we see developers really beginning to get the best out of the new consoles. Even so, the potential is quite exciting and spells some interesting things for the future. So, when I first read this, my mind went straight to the Unreal Engine 5 demo from last year, more specifically the latter part of that demo, the capabilities of loading data fast and rendering that high-speed fly-through from the temple gates to the portal far in the distance. That was a great sequence to showcase this. Unreal Engine 5 has also embraced other specific PlayStation 5 features, like, of course, Kraken compression, which should help push even more data on PS5 Unreal Engine 5 titles. The future is looking good for, of course, Unreal Engine 5 and PlayStation 5 in combination. But you guys let me know if you're excited to see what the future of Unreal 5 on PlayStation 5 is, or Or do you not really care at all? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is a part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with "Bring on the changes." Obviously, this is in reference to the SSD and Unreal Engine 5 changes and the potential of future game development. All that stuff is exciting to me. If it is to you as well, destroy the comment section with "Bring on the changes." And I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.